Universal Shipping News presents Incoterms Definitions, Group D. I'm Jared Vineyard. In previous videos, we defined the Incoterms in groups E, F, and C. In this video, we define the Incoterms DAT, DAP, and DDP. All of these Incoterms in Group D apply to any mode of transport. Now let's get to those definitions. DAT, Delivered at Terminal. This term means that the seller covers all the costs of transport, export fees, carriage, insurance, and destination port charges, and assumes all risk until after the goods are unloaded at the terminal. The buyer covers the costs of transporting the goods from the terminal or port to final destination and pays the import duty or taxes, also known as the customs costs. You should note that with DAT, the seller assumes a large portion of the risks and costs of transport. DAP, Delivered at Place. This term means that the seller pays all the costs of transportation, that again is export fees, carriage, insurance, and destination port charges, up to and including the delivery of the goods to the final destination. The buyer is responsible to pay only the import duty or taxes, those customs costs again. The buyer is also responsible to unload the goods from the vehicle at the final destination. The big difference between DAP and DAT is that with DAP, the seller is responsible for the final leg of the journey, and the buyer is responsible for the final unloading of the goods. DDP, Delivered Duty Paid. With DDP, the seller again assumes all the risks and costs of transport, but here the seller also pays any import customs or duty. The buyer has only to unload the goods at the final destination. Also known as the non-Incoterm Free in Store, or FIS, DDP represents the maximum responsibility for both costs and risk assumption from beginning to end for the seller. This arrangement is on the opposite end of the spectrum from XWorks, EXW, where the majority of the cost and risk assumption is on the shoulders of the buyer. For more on these Incoterms and all of the rest, go to universalcargo.com. This concludes our series defining Incoterms, but don't worry, we'll be back with more Universal Shipping news. So until next time, stay in ship shape.